This seems very apropos for what's been going on, how gacha games turn players against each other.
People in the gacha space are contributing to the problem of elitism, and let me explain why. Elitists in these games are primarily focused on the amount of money a person has spent. The more money you spent, the more likely they are to invalidate your achievements and sabotage your fun of the game. Elitism is described as the attitude or behavior of a person who regard themselves as an elite.
Absolutely.
In our case, it's a group of people who believe.
I acknowledge the Persona 3 Reloaded theme song in the background. This guy gets plus 10 street cred. You know what? Just for that, I'm going to pre-subscribe.
Believe they are superior in terms of ability or qualities. They believe that their way of playing the game is superior to your way of playing the game.
Of course.
And you wouldn't understand that unless you experienced what they experienced.
Yeah, guys, you're not a real Honkai Star Rail player unless you play all the time, every day, and you're able to zero cycle everything. And everybody else who played isn't as good as me because I played more. You may have played every day up until 3.0, but I played up until 3.2, which means that your opinions no longer matter. And I'm the only motherfucker.
But let's slow down. How did we even get to this point? In the gacha space, all types of players exist. We got your whales, we got your dolphins.
Do you know how many people told me my opinion didn't matter because I didn't play 3.1 and 3.2? The comments that I got of that were insane. They're saying, oh, Tectone doesn't even play HSR. I literally played every patch up until 3.0. I played completely free to play for a year. I beat everything myself for a year free to play. And people are telling me my Honkai Star Rail opinions don't matter. I hate to break the news to you, and this is what's going to hurt the most. You ready for this? My opinion matters the most because I'm not a mindless consumer. People who are going to slop up whatever shit they're being fed every day, they don't matter. They're going to say, oh, this game's good, this game's good, this game's good, this game's good, it's good, oh hell no way. The people who leave, those people's opinions matter because you want to know why they left. And they left because the game's not in a good state right now, guys.
Are honestly just whales that made up the term dolphin to cope. And then we have your free-to-play players. These days, free-to-play players make up a large portion of all gacha gamers, but it didn't used to be this way.
You have 7.6 thousand concurrent viewers. Clearly the random nobody who said you don't matter is right. Yeah, I agree, man. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. Actually, it's 8,032. But yeah.
The gacha genre used to be pretty niche, and almost everyone in it spent money. It was not until a certain game came out during the global pandemic that caused this to change. With nothing to do and people stuck inside their homes, people flocked to the
only 4 people zero cycled at E0 out of 12,000. So only 4 people's opinions mattered, Techie. Yep, that's what the internet thinks. Hey man, if you don't zero cycle, then you don't get an opinion, and everybody knows it.
The internet to find things to do. And one of these things was the massively popular gacha game from MiHoYo.
Sorry,
Genshin Impact. Genshin quickly took over the world, attracting the mainstream audience and introducing the gacha genre to an audience that had never even heard of what a gacha was before Genshin. The size of Genshin Impact during the pandemic cannot be understated. Some of my 40-year-old uncles would come up to me during family gatherings and be like,
that's me.
Oh, hey, son.
Oh, hey.
Do you play Genshin Impact?
What?
Have you seen the girl Mona? She got a flat ass.
This, in my opinion, was the starting point of when the cultures of gacha games and the cultures of normal games started to mix. For veteran gacha players, spending money is kind of just a part of the game. When a new character comes out, they're kind of just like, ooh, she's hot. I'm gonna get her. Ooh, he looks cool as hell. I'm gonna get him too. Oh, she pulls her sword out of her boobies? Yeah, where's my wallet, bro? But for most other gaming communities, this is not the case. Not at all. Spending hundreds of dollars on one single game is like committing a crime. You guys know about the $500 faker Ari skin from League of Legends, right? Well, if you get found with it in game, all 9 other players will bully you. The funny thing is the amount of money that people spend in other games will never compare to the amount of money that people spend on gacha games.
$200,000 here, man. $200,000 on Genshin. Imagine that.
Someone pulled 200 copies of Fei Xiao's limited weapon in Honkai Star Rail.
Oh, and by the way, guys, there's a reason why I no longer do that. Yeah, wanna know why? Because I was a fucking idiot for doing that. And I acknowledge that I was a fucking idiot for doing that.
What is this? Hello? So I did the math, right? And the average cost of this act of terrorism is 25,000.
Now, that being said, I did make well over $3 million from playing Genshin, but that's besides the point.
$600. I guess some Chinese princes out there just get bored sometimes, I guess. The influx of new players that either can't spend money or don't want to spend money created an entire subgenre in the gacha industry, and it revolved around being a free-to-play player. Being a free-to-play player makes you relatable to other free-to-play players. Like, damn, you didn't have enough summons so you missed Aglaya? Well, I missed my 50-50 on Tribi, so I'ma skip my day and get Castrus. I think I'm gonna save up for the next 7 banners so I can get Farina's weapon on her rerun. This is how poor people have conversation. A very popular and entertaining.
Bro, I used to say, man, I really want this character in Summoners War, but I can't afford any more pulls. I know, I just won't eat today. And then I could spend 20 bucks on the game. It was so bad. Chat, I used to be one of y'all, man. Straight up. Oh man, it's so bad.
Form of content is the free-to-play experience. How far and how well can you do in a gacha game without spending money? When the goal of the company is to get you to spend money, what can the free-to-play players do to catch up to the spenders?
This is my whole personification, my whole persona now, because I understand how corporations do this shit to fuck over their consumers, which is why I went from one of the most pro Hoyo guys to now one of the most pro consumer guys, and attempted to make everybody aware of how dangerous these games can be when not played responsibly. However, gacha games, when played responsibly, I believe, are one of the most cost-effective, one of the most kind and friendly of any games because there's $0 to play. So as long as you can fight temptation, they're actually very good and very friendly towards pretty much everybody. You just have to be very smart. You can't be greedy and stupid.
Doro44 is doing a new free-to-play Genshin account for fun, and Mr. Pokey is doing a new free-to-play Honkai Star Rail account named Bob. But the only motherfucker who should be praised for starting content like this is
I couldn't click off the video fast enough. Slime jump scare. I don't know who this guy is. I need somebody to connect me with this guy. I want this guy on the Gacha cast. I want to talk to him. I want to talk to this fucking guy.
Enviosity. Like, let's look at this, right? My free-to-play daily routine. Highly recommended. 2.2 million views. My free-to-play management and free-to-play daily routine. Genshin Impact Guide. 750,000 views. $0 spent 6 months. Free-to-play only. 700,000 views. Being a min-maxer in these games does take a lot of effort. And like, genuinely, if you are a free-to-play
Don't worry, they just use account managers, it doesn't matter.
min-maxer in one of these games, you are working minimum wage labor hours. You're grinding so hard for so little. Most of the time, 10 hours of your grinding is worth less than a $5 top-up. When these games even have the ability to function this way, it can foster a lot of frustrated players. Players that will now hold animosity towards other players that didn't have to work as hard as they did, but are achieving the same result. Sometimes a better result than they could ever achieve as a free-to-play. With such a radical difference of spenders in the same community, the amount of money you spend in a gacha game has now become a glorified competitive ranking system, where the less you spend, the higher rank you are. These single-player games have somehow created a sense of superiority in some players. This is a genuine conversation that I've seen. Yo, let's go! I finally cleared floor 12, dude! Oh, that's cool, but didn't you spend money in the game though? So like, what's the point? What? What is that?
Yeah. Now, I don't do that. I will never undersell somebody if they beat you by using money. However, if they try to tell me that they're better and that they spent money, absolutely not. Man, Shinya trying to ego my ass because he clears shit. He clears shit in fucking wizardry quicker than me. But what he didn't tell nobody is he took one of those fucking orange EXP books and juiced up one of his characters to level 20 in the first 30 minutes of the fucking game. And so he had a max level character when he started the damn game. And I said, all right, dude. Yeah, you cleared it faster. How could you have not have? And he used it on his fucking Birkanan, who becomes ridiculously broken at 20. Get off my balls. And that bitch got an account manager. Bro, get off my dick, brother.
Didn't you spend money on this game too? No, dude. I'm free to play plus. I only buy the monthly pass and the battle pass. Bitch, free to play plus. Being free to play has now become a way of life. The true free to play experience. That's a term I've heard a lot these days. I already said this in a recent video where I talked about Mr. Pokey's free to play account, but there is no such thing as the true free to play player experience. In every gacha game community, people have made being free to play a badge of honor. This badge of honor has gone so far that
my free to play pride. Shut the fuck up, man. It's so cringe.
That it's become common to invalidate someone's opinion or achievements just because they spent money. No matter how you feel about Mr. Pokey's controversial power creep take, it's disingenuous to invalidate his opinion based only on the fact that his account isn't free to play. I don't think you can call an account free to play if you have another group of people doing it for you. I trust the person who was forced to do all the story in HSR, not Mr. Pokey. He can't say he's being free to play and not put in all the work the free to play player would. Guys, we gotta stop stretching the definition of a free to play account. Did the account spend money? No? Then no matter what, it is a free to play account. Sure.
I think it's fair to say it's a free to play account, but it's not the free to play experience. I think that's the differentiation that people should make. It is a free-to-play account. However, that's not the free-to-play experience, right? No free-to-play players will be able to afford somebody to be able to play their account for them.
Mr. Pokey's
There's nuance.
free-to-play account is run by account managers, but that doesn't make his account status not free-to-play.
100%.
It is so pointless to call an account not free-to-play because of this and that. The true conversation that should be happening is if Mr. Pokey's account is relatable to most free-to-plays or not. And that's exactly what I tried to explain under this thread. But then I got destroyed by infallible logic.
Oh no.
No, it's not a stretch. Let's say you have some coal to mine in a coal mine, but you send 4 people to do it 24/7 for you instead. Then come out of there squeaky clean, get the money, which is not much, but when you're free to do whatever you want while your 4 coal mining managers did all the dirty work. You know, I've read this comment 10 times, I still don't know what's going on. He's talking about some coal mining, I don't know. Relatable. That's a word I see a lot these days, right?
What he's saying is that the experience isn't relatable because if he's not the one doing the grind and learning what free-to-play players have to go through, then he's not the one doing it. And then it's not a relatable experience, and Mr. Pokey can't relate to free-to-play players because he's not the one playing it, right? That's what he's saying, which obviously is up to people's discretion on whether they agree or disagree, right? Me personally, I knew my free-to-play account was cooked when I was using account managers, so I just said, fuck it, I bought the battle pass. And then I just completely broke. Right. However, that was after I beat all content in the game. But yeah, like you're not getting the free to play experience and people are playing the game for you. And I think that's very fair to say.
Having relatability. Let's say you're just like a casual whale, right? And you post your endgame clear somewhere because, I don't know, you like the game, you know, and you cleared with your favorite character. And
also, don't use analogies. I don't get them. Why is he talking about mining coal?
Hold on. New concept. You're having fun? So this is a post that I found on the Akron mains subreddit from 7 months ago. Another MLC refresh, another Akron 0 turn clear. I give thanks to our goddess Akron for blessing my MLC with the perfect 0 turn clear. Aventurine was departed before he could even take any action. Glory to her holiness. So this is clearly just someone who loves Akron, right? Like he's just having a good time. Glory to her holiness. He's E6 Akron, E6 Chow Show, E2 Sparkle, E1 Robin. Like he's clearly just a whale, and like on his free time he just kind of has fun with the game, you know? Like even their language is kind of memey, like our goddess Akron. And he also posted it in the Akron mains subreddit, so you know he's just having a good time, you know? Like surely people in this subreddit will, you know, have a sense of humor. All I see is money, money, money. Well, if you don't 0 cycle with that team, you're doing something very wrong. Oh my god, this comment has 82 upvotes. The main post is giga downvoted. Are you having fun? You better fucking stop, stupid. Even if you read his replies, you can kind of just tell he's just trying to play the game, right? Like, well, if you don't 0 cycle with that, you're doing something wrong. Thank goodness I didn't mess that up. I actually want to improve my Firefly team a bit more.
Y'all remember when I was told that I didn't have the brain capacity to 0 cycle, and then I did it within 1 day of me trying? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember being told that 0 cycling is like The most high skill thing you could do. And then I picked it up and I did it in one day.
Not sure
That was a great day, to be fair. That was awesome.
how to improve it further besides getting eidolons for Harmony MC.
Yeah, get downvoted.
Give praise to Akron, for she truly has no equal. Why are people mad? OP is just an Akron main in body, spirit, and bank account.
That's insane.
It's alright, as long as Akron gets enough love, it's fine.
Wait, how come your Harmony MC is not E6?
Because I can't find the time to collect all those treasure chests. I'm doing it bit
He's
by
getting
bit.
downvoted
Do you have
for
a
this?
Job? You have too much work to play the game?
Yeah,
Yeah, why isn't this guy getting his account managers to do it?
you're getting downvoted, buddy.
In these communities, you will not feel welcome as a whale. You don't have to be a whale. You can just be someone who saved a lot for your favorite character and then invested highly into them. But then you gotta be ready for your endgame clears to be called pointless. You have more chances to feel unwelcome just because you spent money, just because your level of investment went over their arbitrary line of what they consider relatable. The thing I find so funny about these people is that they take pride in suffering through the video game. The main thing I hear from these players is how much suffering they're going through, how much suffering they had to go through to get a character. And you're not one of us if you didn't suffer like we had to. Listen, man, if grinding the game for 10 extra pulls is suffering to you, why are you even doing the grinding in the first place?
True.
At what point would you allow yourself to enjoy the game without being so jaded that other people didn't have to suffer as much as you did?
True.
In fact, you didn't have to suffer. You just chose to suffer.
True.
It's a self-inflicted unhappiness.
True.
These types of gacha players have a severe case of free-to-play syndrome. Free-to-play syndrome is
Yep.
when you start believing that you're superior because you didn't spend money.
If you spend 12 hours grinding the game and then you want to shit on somebody for spending $5 and getting your week's progress in $5, you're just unemployed, man. Like legit. Because when all that time you could have been making money, you were wasted not making money, that's on you, brother. And the person who can work a job and maintain their enjoyment of the game by spending a couple bucks every now and then, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Sorry, brother.
Because you beat the game with less resources than the other people. This type of elitism fuels tribalism and will only cause more negativity to be spread around the community. Free-to-play syndrome will make you start believing that only other free-to-plays will understand you, and any account that's above your low standard of what a free-to-play player can achieve is pointless to you. Both are E6. He will destroy any MLC no matter what.
That's even more pointless. Lol.
On the release of Honkai Star Rail, me and my friends all played during the first week, and let me just say, all of us wanted Scylla. We were all doing single pulls off cooldown the second
Same. And man, she was so fun for the 3 months she was viable.
we hit 160 Stellar Jades. We were all free to play at this point, so we all had the same exact amount of resources. And I eventually hit pity and got my Scylla at 79 summons. One of us got
She still is so hot though, man.
resources, and
That
I
pose.
eventually hit pity and got my Scylla at
God, that pose is still so fucking hot. And oh my God, her fucking belly too and the belly button. Jeez, that's so fucking hot. Jesus Christ. She is so fine.
79 summons. One of us got her pretty early at 46 summons, but this other guy, he is always unlucky in the gacha games. He lost the 50-50 at 83 pity, but then he proceeded to go all the way up to hard pity, back up to 81. So this guy spent 50 pulls for his copy, I spent around 80 pulls for my copy, and this guy spent 160 pulls for his copy. The fact that gacha games even allow stuff like this to happen inherently removes any consistency in the power of free-to-play accounts.
True.
And the free-to-play experience full of grinding and struggles
Really
we talk about
mad.
doesn't really follow a consistent standard anyways. My 100 free-to-play pulls from doing nothing and only collecting dailies can be a limited 5-star and their weapon. Your 120 pulls after 50 hours of grinding can end up being a Chi-Chi. Guys, let's stop putting a badge of honor on being free-to-play. The gacha system makes the free-to-play experience way too inconsistent to be able to slap a label on it. A
So
free account
true.
can be 2 times stronger than a spending account
So
if they
true
get lucky.
and real
it
and
happens
based.
all the time. It's great to be proud of your own.
We all acknowledge that my free-to-play experience was very different than MTash free-to-play experience. And the same amount of pulls that I got, one Zila, he got 3 of them and the light cone. And then I had to sit there being told that I was a worse player than MTash because his Zila does more damage than mine. And I'm like, oh, you know what? You're so right.
own achievements. But let's just enjoy the game together. You know, whether you spent $0 or spent $1,000. No need to go on like a big ego trip because you cleared MLC
Pull better? This guy's on to something.
one turn faster or something. And I can assure you that people can understand some elements of the free-to-play experience without being directly free-to-play themselves. Despite all of this, I can definitely say that some of the coolest people I've met on the internet are from gacha games. So it's not all bad, you know, the world is healing. But the amount of money you guys are willing to spend on anime bitches is a little concerning sometimes. But no matter how much you end up wasting on anime bitches, I will be there. Will you?
I will. Great fucking video. Dude, I want to talk to this guy. This guy seems fucking awesome. This guy seems awesome. Call this video How Gacha Games Ruin Friendships. See you on the next one.